We are taking you into the news right now with the Fox 45 news feed. It's 11 a.m. A special investigative hearing is now on the books to address the Baltimore City water crisis, the growing criticism about the way DPW communicated the crisis with the public. Continue concerns about squeegee kids in the city, how the mayor is now asking you to help come up with solutions. And more Americans are feeling the pinch of inflation, when things may finally cool down. Fox 45 News Midday starts now.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News Midday.
Thanks for joining us for Fox 45 News Midday. I'm Patrice Sanders. We begin with breaking news out of southeast Baltimore, where this morning a man was shot in the head and killed. This is a look from the scene just about an hour ago on North Conkling Street. Police blocking off a portion of that street. They say around 7:30 this morning they got reports of a shooting, and they came here to find the victim who had been shot in the head. He was pronounced dead on scene. Our Fox 45 News crew caught up with Councilman Zeke Cohen right after the shooting.
It is unbelievably frustrating at 7:30 in the morning. What sounds initially like fight and discharging escalates into someone losing their life. It is beyond unacceptable, but it's also just 7:30 a.m. Why are we doing this?
As far as we know, the suspect is still at large. Police are urging anyone with information to call the Metro Crime Stoppers anonymously at 1-866-7-LOCK-UP. Now to the ongoing concerns about squeegee kids. Mayor Brandon Scott has said he will not authorize police to clear street corners, and now he's asking for you to help find a solution. Today, you can join the conversation. As Shannon Lilly shows us, the Mayor Squeegee Collaborative is still underway, and he's asking for everyone to submit their ideas.
Yeah, the mayor is now opening this discussion up to the public, trying to find a solution to this squeegee kid problem that we so often see right here along President Street and other streets around the city. Well, tonight is your opportunity to weigh in. So we want to pull up the details for this meeting right here on your screen. It's scheduled to go from 6 to 8 p.m. at New Shiloh Baptist Church on North Monroe Street. Now, if you want to come, and this is important, you need to register online first. So we have a link that's posted on our website, and you can go on there, click on that link, and register before you come. Now, you'll remember, though, that this is a conversation that's already been in the works. The mayor's been holding private meetings with a group called the Squeegee Collaborative over the last 2 months. And that's a group made up of leaders, businesses, and community members that are convening weekly to tackle the root cause of squeegeeing and what can be done to provide these squeegee kids more resources and opportunities. The mayor, though, refusing to actually authorize police to go in and physically remove these squeegee kids from city streets. Reporting in downtown Baltimore, I'm Shannon Lilly, Fox 45 News.
Thank you, Shannon. The Baltimore City Council is calling for accountability from the Department of Public Works after E. coli was found in the water supply. This week, we'll see the first investigative hearing into the recent water crisis.
Oh, it was horrible. I mean, a lot of people were really scared. For this to happen is highly, highly unusual. So we have to get to the bottom of it.
While the mayor stands by DPW, the city council and city residents want answers. As Olivia Dance shows us, there seems to be a disconnect between the mayor and the city council.
City council members have questions about the handling of the water crisis, and a hearing is scheduled for this Thursday at 2 p.m. to try and get answers. Now, at Monday's meeting, city council got approval to have investigative hearings to address last week's contaminated water crisis. Several council members are demanding answers and accountability.
Everyone was kept in the dark. The big danger is that, come Monday, you had babies' formula being mixed with E. coli water. You had seniors who were taking their medicine with E. coli water.
I do believe that things could have been done better. I know we got information later in the game, right, in terms of a late Sunday night into Monday morning.
Despite council members' concerns, Mayor Brandon Scott says the city handled the water crisis correctly. And unlike city council members, he isn't being critical of the Department of Public Works.
There was no misbundling of communication. We laid that out, that we follow the protocol of how you communicate and how you have to, MD has to say to DPW, yes, you can say this at this time. That was followed. We're going to follow every rule and every regulation. And when you're talking about an issue like this, again, this wasn't something that DPW mismanaged. They found out the water had this in it because they did the testing. This wasn't someone else telling us.
As you remember, it took days for DPW to inform residents of the contaminated water. So hopefully at Thursday's hearing, we'll finally get some answers. But Councilman Schleifer says he will continue to call for hearings every Thursday until all of the questions are answered. For now, reporting in Baltimore, I'm Olivia Dance, Fox 45 Midday.
This all brings us to our question of the day. Are city leaders honest about problems facing Baltimore? So far, 99% of those who voted say no. We want to know what you think. Go to foxbaltimore.com/vote to make your voice heard. 11:05 now. Here's a look at today's top trending stories. Trending number one suspect remains in the hospital following a police-involved shooting in Baltimore County. Alicia Page and Kelly Anthony are both facing multiple charges. Police say Page rammed her car into a police vehicle and another car before an officer fired shots. Trending number two, an 11-year-old boy is being charged with arson, accused of setting fire to a Hampstead Dollar General. The fire happened earlier this month. No one was hurt, but it took firefighters more than an hour to get it under control, and it caused $2.5 million in damages. Police are not releasing the suspect's name because of his age. A Carroll County prosecutor charged the boy with first-degree murder before releasing him to his parents' custody. Trending number three, an update from police about a family of 5 found dead inside their Elk Mills home last week. Detectives in Cecil County now say it appears that a man killed his 3 children and his wife before killing himself. We're told that the father called 911 saying the 4 were already dead. When deputies arrived, he was found dead as well with a gun next to him. If you are in need of help or if you know someone who is, there is free help available. Dial 988 to reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It is anonymous and staffed 24/7. Trending number 4, right now in the middle of yesterday's storms, crews had to make emergency repairs to a BGE gas line where Pikesville and the city meet in northwest Baltimore. BGE tells Fox 45 that a contractor not affiliated with the utility struck the gas line. There were no reported injuries, but it did cause some major traffic issues during the evening commute. Apple's newest iPhone is out. The shocking number of Americans who say it is worth going into debt if it means getting their hands on one of the new phones. But first, a growing number of workers report being burnt out. We're going to look at the rise in dissatisfaction among workers. And a controversial tweet from Chick-Fil-A. Why some are questioning if the fast food chain was being racist with their response to a customer's question.
Hour-by-hour forecast, numbers in the upper 70s over the next couple of hours and into the lower 80s as we take you into the afternoon with plenty of sunshine, finally taking a break from that rain. And we'll top out today right about 82 with overnight lows in the lower 60s. Should be a nice morning tomorrow and a high again in the lower 80s as well for Wednesday. Back with your full forecast in just a few minutes.
Fox 45 News, winner of 17 2022 Regional Emmy Awards, more than all other Baltimore news stations combined.
11:10, taking a look at your social stream. Lots of reaction this morning to the Emmys. The television awards were handed out last night, and we saw a lot of records being broken. Cheryl Lee Ralph became the first black actress to win the Emmy for supporting actress in a comedy series in 35 years. The Abbott Elementary star is also only the second black woman to ever win in that category. Her win is preceded by Jackée Harry, who won the category in 1987 for her role as Sandra Clark on 227. Oh, this was an emotional speech. Oh, so happy for her. Zendaya has officially made Emmys history again. She won her second award for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series for Euphoria. The win makes the 26-year-old the youngest two-time winner for acting in Emmy history. She's also the first black woman to win the Emmy for lead actress in a drama series twice. Oh, so many people reacting. And she looks gorgeous there. Millie says her career is actually one that needs to be talked about in history books. Like, I want to see students in the future learning about how Zendaya has won 2 Emmys at 26 years old, making her the youngest and first black woman to do so in her category. Another person saying, it is amazing how you can be genuinely happy for someone you don't know. I'm so very delighted to see the stellar Cheryl Lee Ralph win her Emmy. Congrats to the both of them. Chick-Fil-A is blaming a controversial tweet on a poor choice of words. When answering a Twitter user's question about when a new menu item would be available, Chick-Fil-A responded saying, your community will be the first to know if spicy items are added to the permanent menu. Now, while some noted the chain has used that same phrase, your community, in other replies referencing store locations, others asked if the phrase your community had a racist connotation. This is what you're saying about it. One person saying, excuse me? Well, and just for clarity, who might your community be? What community are you referring to? Hashtag gone too far. Someone not liking what they said. Spencer then saying, yeah, I don't see nefarious intent. Your community, your area, your neighborhood, you'll be the first to know. Your location. I can see how it can be taken in a narrow view, but clearly the poster was trying to make that customer feel heard and special. Apple's latest software update is now available, and it comes with new features, especially when it comes to texting. The newly released iOS 16 comes with the ability to edit and unsend recently sent iMessages. Users can also mark iMessages as unread if they want to come back to them later. That is what I have been wanting and needing. This is what you're saying about it. Antoine saying, really liking iOS 16. Pretty cool that you can edit, unsend text. Home screen customization is great. And this one saying, iOS 16 is awesome, but nothing will ever compare to the change from iOS 6 to iOS 7. That's pretty funny. Still ahead, eating a big breakfast may fill you up, but it might not help you lose weight. What a new study says about calorie counting and watching the clock when you eat. But first, a sign that inflation could be slowing. We're going to look at the latest numbers as more Americans say they're feeling the pinch. 11:13 now on Fox 45 News Midday. 11:15 now. We are back with a live look over Towson. Drier weather is moving in as yesterday's storms are moving out. We'll check in with meteorologist Justin Chambers to see how long this dry spell will last. That's coming up. Topping world news, Queen Elizabeth's final journey is underway. Thousands of people lining the streets of Scotland as the Queen's coffin made its way to St. Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh.
I think that it's important that we honour her as is due to our Queen. I think it's important that we reflect her life adequately.
King Charles and his siblings walked behind the hearse carrying their mother's casket. The Queen will be buried next week. She'll rest next to her husband, Philip, at Windsor Castle. President Biden and the First Lady will be in attendance. From feeling the burn to cooling off, according to a new report from the New York Federal Reserve, consumer expectations for inflation dropped in August, most expecting things to keep getting better throughout the rest of the year. The U.S. still facing a labor shortage, and now data suggests that the COVID-19 pandemic is one of the main reasons. According to a National Bureau of Economic Research working paper, Americans getting sick with COVID made the labor force shrink by 500,000 people. Researchers found that after calling out sick from work, workers were much less likely to return to the labor force. And workers who were out sick due to COVID were 7% less likely to still be in the labor force a year later. For those who are in the office, a growing number are getting burnt out. According to a new survey from human resources company Workday, U.S. companies reported a 17% increase in employee burnout from last year. And believe it or not, the numbers are even worse overseas. In the U.K., it was a 41% boost. Coming up later today, Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby is headed to trial later this month for perjury and lying on a loan application. Coming up on Fox 45 News at 4, how some documents already filed could provide clues into how the case will play out. Confusion and frustration as a family is unable to access their college savings. At 5, Fox 45 News investigates what happened and who needs to be held accountable. And counties surrounding Baltimore are cracking down on dirt bikes. Why their tactics could provide a blueprint for the city to deal with the nuisance. You can get Fox 45 News in a flash through your Amazon Alexa or Echo. We now deliver your local headlines and forecasts in less than 2 minutes. If you have an Amazon device, tell it to enable Fox 45 Baltimore. 11:17 and now to today's talking point. Eating a big breakfast may help curb hunger, but it won't help with weight loss. That's according to a new study. Researchers put people into 2 groups and studied their eating habits. They found those who ate a big breakfast with the idea of eating less throughout the day didn't lose any more weight than those who eat the majority of their calories at night. Mark Clark with Be More Lifestyle is here now. And isn't the idea really more to eat small meals throughout the day? No big meal at any point is more conducive to weight loss.
See, you stole my words, Patrice. I think you're right. I think, you, of course, are on the fitness thing. I've been on the fitness journey. And my experience, like I said, comes down to how many calories you are eating. Mm-hmm. I think when you eat it is important. Also, they talked about when they eat it, but they didn't talk about how many calories and if people are active. If you're sedentary, if you're not active and you eat at night, I think it definitely could have a definite effect on you.
I know. So we always, recommend that people don't eat at least 2 hours before they go to bed. Because I think if you go to bed and you've just eaten and all of that is just sitting there, your body doesn't have time to work that off. And your body doesn't have time. Like, that's a time when you're at rest for it to work on itself and try to reset. But if it's still trying to digest, this 20-ounce steak you just had, then it's not going to do as much as it can for the healing part of the body. So. Well,
Patrice, you didn't tell me that getting up early in the morning, now the big breakfast thing's out the window anyway. It's usually something simple because we're on the move in the morning.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. And, so I do intermittent fasting. So I mean, there's like a 14-hour, at least 12 to 14-hour window that I don't eat while I'm on the air most of the time. Not until 8:30. I eat at 8:30.
I do 30-minute fasting. Every 30 minutes I rest and then I go back to eating.
And we're going to leave it there. Thank you, Mark. All right, so all the rain that we had here at home has moved out, but it created a big mess for those to our north. As meteorologist Justin Chambers shows us, there is flooding in New York.
Yeah, we had a lot of rain around here, but also rain up into New York City. This is actually in Queens. This is a video there of flooding from Tuesday morning. They actually had tornado warnings there, and a lot of that rain and the heavy rain moved up into the Boston area as well. So we are drying out nicely here with no real issues to speak of. In fact, we're going to have a lack of rain not only today, but into the next couple of days. We'll be drying out. Temperatures stay closer to average, and then we'll be less humid as we head into the next few days for this upcoming week ahead. So here's a look at your hour-by-hour forecast. Upper 70s and lower 80s. These are going to be your temperatures as we take you into the early part of the afternoon. And you'll notice that lack of humidity. Check out the dew point trend, the muggy meter essentially, keeping the dew points mainly in the 50s. So even this afternoon, we'll see more of the comfortable or pleasant conditions. That drier air stays in place as we take you into Thursday and Friday as well. Great couple of days to hang by the pool. Hopefully you still have access to some pools here with lower 80s for the rest of the middle part of the week and into the upcoming weekend. High temps today, upper 70s and lower 80s across the board, up and down the 95 corridor. Even if you're heading down the ocean there in Ocean City with upper 70s, water temps still at a mild 74 degrees, and we'll keep those 70s going into Wednesday and Thursday as well. Great day to fly, pilots. We're talking about VFR conditions, visual flight rules pretty much all day today. And here's a look at our future scan. We stayed dry for the afternoon. We'll have a few clouds hanging around, but a lot less in the way of cloud cover as we take you into Wednesday and Thursday, and then again keeping the rain away from us all the way into this upcoming weekend. Ravens home opener is Sunday. How about a high of 86 on Sunday afternoon? Before we get there, though, those lower 80s will continue into the beginning of the weekend, and then we start heating up again back to the upper 80s early next week.
Well, he knew he'd won the lottery. He just didn't know how much. Still ahead, the shock that he was in for after learning his $600 winning ticket was actually worth a lot more. And you may want to tap the brakes if you're driving along I-95 in Harford County, where new speed cameras are going up and when they go live. 11:22 now on Fox 45 News Midday. 11:25, don't miss this. As we look ahead, the Maryland Transportation Authority will install a speed camera along Interstate 95 in Harford County next week. The camera will be installed in the construction zone on the southbound side of the interstate right near Maryland Route 152. That is 1 week from today. Now, the agency says there will be a 21-day warning period before it starts giving out $40 fines. The speed limit in the area is 65 miles per hour. Topping national news, it's considered the largest private sector nursing strike in U.S. history. About 15,000 nurses in Minnesota have walked off the job. That 3-day strike is affecting 13 hospitals. The nurses union says the strike isn't about wages, but resolving problems with staffing shortages, retention, and better patient care. Ford is recalling 2 of its most popular SUVs. The automaker is recalling 200,000 Ford Expeditions and Lincoln Navigators after learning that the car's heating and cooling fan motors can catch fire. The specific models being recalled were built between 2015 and 17. So far, the company has received reports of 25 fires. 12 of those caused extensive damage to the vehicles. Ford is now reaching out to owners. How about this for your lunch break? A Virginia man thought that he had won $600 in the lottery. Not bad, but it turns out his ticket was actually worth $1 million. Jose Velasquez took the one-time cash option and he walked home with nearly $760,000 before taxes. He says he plans to use that money to take care of his family and possibly start his own business. That's a great surprise to walk into. That's all we have for Fox 45 News at midday. Be More Lifestyle is up next. Mark Clark back to tell us what they're working on.
Thanks, Patrice. A wife wants her husband to sign a contract before she lends him money. Now, we'll look at both sides of the argument coming up on Be More Lifestyle. Next.